Hare Krishna and Jai Shri Ram. So today is Ramnavmi, and I welcome all of you to this Ramnavmi class today because it is a Ramnavmi festival. I will, instead of continuing with Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, I would talk about some stories of Lord Ram. So before I really go into detail, why is this day special? Yeah. So this day is the appearance day of Sri Ram. Why do we call it as an appearance day, not a birthday? Because Ram, he's the supreme personality of Godhead, and he doesn't take birth. He's always there. He's beyond creation. So he was always there. He will always be there. And only when, whenever he's requested to come, he actually comes to this material world, and that's why he appears. So unlike us, God doesn't take birth, he appears. As has been told in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Krishna says that Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjuna. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says to Arjun that my janma, it is my appearance, and my karma, that is my activities, they are divyam. They are divyam means they are divine. They are divine. And someone who veti means understands, someone who understands what the tattva, the actual the tattva of this, that about the appearance and the activities of the appearance of Krishna and Ram and his different avatar, then what will happen? Tyaktva deham, when he or she leaves this body, this material body that we have, when we leave this material body, Punarjanma neti mameti. It means we will not take birth again. Punarjanma neti mameti. So Arjuna, oh Arjun, when they leave this body, they will not take birth again, right? So this is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And Ram also appeared here. Now the thing is, what is the day? As per the Hindu calendar, this is the month of Chaitra, and Chaitra is the first month of Hindu calendar, and it starts with, in south we call it Ugadi, in north it is Navratri. We have 9 days, and on the ninth day is the appearance day of Lord Ram, which is celebrated as Ram Navmi, right? So in which yug was he born? We all know that there are four yug: Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, and Kalyug. Now, Kalyug is going on. So he was born in Treta Yug. He was born in Treta Yug. Then what time was he born? He was actually born at 12 p.m. It's a midday he was born. And Krishna was born in midnight. And Ram was born in at midday, so 12 p.m. So right now it's like, he has already taken birth, and the celebrations are going on. So where was he born? He was born in Ayodhya. Ayodhya, and where is Ayodhya located? It is located in India, in Uttar Pradesh, right? And which river flows in Ayodhya? It is the Saryu River. So Ayodhya is situated on the bank of Saryu River. Who is the father of Sri Ram? Dashrath Maharaj is the father of Sri Ram, and mother is Kaushalya. Now, in which scripture is totally dedicated to Ram? So we know it is Ramayana and Ramcharitmanas. Who has written Ramayana? Ramayana is written by Valmiki, and the Ramcharitmanas is written by Tulsidas. The question is, why did he appear? What was the reason for his appear? And again, Krishna explains that why he appears. Why does the avatar appears? And he says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijanyaham. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Whenever and wherever there is a glanir bhavati bharata. Bharat is Arjun. Oh Arjun, whenever there's a glani is there's a decline. Decline in what? Decline in dharma. Whenever there's a decline in dharma, then what happened? Abhyuthana adharma. Abhyuthana is increase. Abhyuthana is increase. What does increase? Adharma. When adharma increases, tad atmanam srijamiham. At that point of time, I appear. But why does he appear? Paritranaya sadhunam, Vinashaya cha dushkritam. Paritranaya sadhunam. Sadhunam means all the pious people. All the pious people, he comes to deliver. Paritranaya sadhunam. It means he comes to deliver the all the sages, all the pious people. And Vinashaya cha dushkritam. And those who are miscreants, who are dushkritam, for them, what does he do? He vinasha, he destroys them. Dharma sansthapanarthaya, and to re-establish dharma. Sambhavami yuge yuge, I appear again and again. So in Treta Yuga, he appeared as Ram. In Dwapar Yuga, he appeared as Krishna. So to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principle of dharma, I myself appear millennium after millennium. So today we will actually learn about some lessons. I'll try to talk about some lessons that we learn from the life of Lord Ram. So we all know that Ram was born in Ayodhya to Raja Dashrath. He had three wives. Raja Dashrath had three wives: Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. But he had no sons. And then when he really wanted son, he actually was advised by the family priest, who is Vashisht Rishi. So Vashisht Rishi advised him to call Shringi Rishi and get the Putrashram Yagya done. And when the Yagya was done, then basically he got the Agni Devi came up with a bowl of kheer, and which was distributed and between Kausalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. And then Kausalya was blessed with Ram, Kaikeyi was blessed with Bharat, and Sumitra was blessed with Lakshman and Shatrughan. So Raja Dashrath got four sons, and Ram was the eldest. When they were a bit, a few years old, then they were sent to the Gurukula of Guru Vashisht, where they learned all the vidyas. The Gurukul, it does not only teaches the science, maths, and history, geography, but it also teaches, it is an all-round development where you learn all types of vidya, like Dhanur Vidya, you learn Vedas, you learn all our scriptures. So that's what is the Gurukul. And when they came back from Gurukul, what happened? When he was less than 16 years old, then Vishwamitra Rishi, he actually came to the kingdom of Ayodhya, and he came to Raja Dashrath and requested him to send Ram and Lakshman along with him, as there were a lot of demons which was troubling Vishwamitra Rishi in doing his Homa, in doing the Yagya. They were not letting him do not only him, but all the sages which was in the forest, they were not being allowed to do peacefully Yagya. And Vishwamitra said, this is the time when I can go and now bring Ram and Lakshman and help all the sages. But what happened? Dashrath was totally baffled. He says, how can you think? They are such young kids. How can they actually face the demon? And they cannot, but then what happened? Raja Vishwamitra insisted, and also Vashisht agreed, and then Ram and Lakshman, they accompanied Vishwamitra to the forest. And when they accompanied Vishwamitra to the forest, what happened? They were so basically there was, they actually ensured, Ram and Lakshman ensured that all the demons that was troubling and actually not letting the yagya happen properly, they were all killed. Yeah. And then finally Vishwamitra, along with Ram and Lakshman, moved towards Mithila. And what was happening in Mithila? In Mithila, there was Raja Janak was there, and he was looking, he had declared a swamvar for Devi Sita. Devi Sita is Janak's daughter, and he had declared a swamvar. And what was the condition of the swamvar? The condition of the swamvar was that there is a dhanush. That dhanush was not ordinary dhanush. It was of Shiva dhanush, and someone who can actually put the pratyancha on the dhanush is actually eligible for marrying Sita. And then what happened? There were so many kings who came and tried, and everything was like, no one could do it. And finally, Vashishta, Raja Janak was extremely disheartened, and he thought probably Sita will never get married. And then what happened? He asked, Vishwamitra asked Ram to get up and go and help relieve the pain of Raja Janak. And then Ram went, and as soon as he touched the dhanush, as soon as he held the dhanush, Shiva's dhanush, and was trying to put the presenter, it actually broke into two. And then finally everything happened, and Sita was declared, so Janak was very, very happy, and Ram and Sita got married. Along with Ram and Sita, all the four brothers of Ram, that is all the three other brothers, that is Lakshman, Shatrugna, and Bharat, everyone got married with the sisters of Sita. And then when all these things happened, they all came back to Ayodhya. Now, as time passed, what happened? One day, King Dashrath, he was standing in front of mirror, and he saw that now he has got white hair, and realized that he's actually getting old, and it is time for him to declare Ram as the crown prince of Ayodhya. So what he did, he went to Vashisht Rishi and took his advice, and based on his advice, he called all his ministers and discussed this matter, and everyone was extremely happy to hear that it's now Ram is getting declared as the crown prince of Ayodhya. And once all of this was done, then it was announced to all the ministers, and it was informed to all the the citizens, and the family members were also informed. And at that point of time, what happened? Mantra. Who was Mantra? Mantra is Keke's maid. What happened? She actually ran to Keke and said, "Did you hear what's happening? Did you hear what's happening? It is Ram is being declared as the crown prince of Ayodhya." And Keke, she was extremely happy to hear that. What she did, she was wearing a great, the necklace that she was wearing. She took that out and offered that to Mantra. She gave that to Mantra. Now, as per Ramayana, the Kaikeyi actually loved Ram a lot, and Kaushalya loved Bharat a lot. It's said that she loved Ram more than her own son. But then what happened? Mantra. She started, mantra means, churning. She started churning what do you call it? Uh, she started talking to Keke and started churning the envious in Keke by stating that, do you understand how is this going to impact you? If once Ram is declared as the crown prince, then Kaushalya will have an upper hand, while Kaikeyi was the dearest queen of Dashrath. But now Mantra says that Kaushalya will have the upper hand, and you will be reduced to a maid servant of Kaikeyi. Now, listening to all these things, what happened? Keke's mind, actually, she was like, she believed, so she started believe. Initially, she tried to say, what are you saying? But as and when the way Mantra kept on insisting and explaining to Keke down the line, what happened? Keke started believing that what Mantra is saying is true, and she'll be reduced to a maid servant in this palace. And not only that, now Keke wanted to know, she thought that the best friend she has is Mantra. And she asked Mantra, now I don't know how can I come out of all this problem that Dashrath is creating for her. And then Mantra reminded her that, remember the two boons that you are still pending with you, the two boons that Raja Dashrath has promised to give you, because Keke had saved Raja Dashrath in one of the wars. So he had said that I will give you two boons. And Kekeyi has said, I will take it. Let the right time come. So now is the time for you to use those two boons. And what are the two boons that you should ask? First, Ram should be sent to exile for 14 years. And Bharat should be the crown prince of Ayodhya. He should be the next king, should be made the next king for Ayodhya. Now, listening to all these things, Keke was, getting a solution to her problem. Keke was very happy. And then, as Mantra has asked her, she actually went to the Kop Bhavan, and asked for Dashrath to meet her. And when Dashrath came, He was extremely surprised to see the Keke's condition. So now, this from this story about Keke that we talked about, what do we learn? So Keke, although a good-hearted lady, she was already enjoying the premium place in the palace and the what do you call it, dearest queen of Dashrath, just because of the wrong association of mantra and about the miscommunication or the wrong advice that was given by mantra. What happened? Keke, who was the dearest, became the worst. Now Darshat almost left her, right? So that's what it is. So it's very, very important for all of us to have the right association. It is extremely important that we realize that the association that we keep is very, very important, because sometimes we can be put into such some perspective which could be wrong. So association in life is extremely important. And also, Keke, the another thing that she did wrong was believing on the information directly given by Mantra. She could have gone and she could have talked to Dashrath and should have got the right hand information, discussion with Dashrath, and closed it. But then what happened? Because of the perspective of Mantra, instead of challenging her and actually talking to Dashrath, she actually she actually took the wrong path. And we all also do this mistake. Sometimes when we are told something about us, what happens? We actually do believe in it. But it's very, very important when we hear wrong information being talked about, it is always good to get it cleared by the person with whom it's being talked to. It's good to to hear from the first hand information instead of depending upon what the back talks are happening, right? Now, what happened after this? By now, Ram was well aware, Ram was already informed that he's going to be the Yuvraj, he's going to be the crown prince. And then, and all the preparation was happening, and Ram was supposed to get coronated the next day. And he was actually getting prepared based on Vashisht. Sita and Ram, they both were actually fasting so that in the morning a yagya could be done and he could be the crown prince. But then what happened? Then the next morning, Ram was sent and was asked by a messenger to come and meet Raja Dashrath in Kaikeyi's palace. Now, when Ram came to Kaikeyi's palace, he was extremely surprised to see Raja Dashrath's condition. Raja Dashrath was almost in a state which could not be. He was almost unconscious, was in a state that could not be described. His agony was so deep that he was not even able to speak. That was his situation. And at this point of time, Ram tried to console his father. Please tell me, what is this? What is causing you this pain? How actually I can help you? Please speak. But then Kaikeyi said, your father could not speak what he wants to tell you. And then Ram said, my mother, why don't you tell me on behalf of father? And she said that, okay, then she narrated the entire incident and said, I want you to my two boons are that you should go to exile for 14 years, and second thing is, should go to exile for 14 years, and Bharat should be coronated. And Ram was extreme. There was no surprise to him. He was like, he there no reaction. He said, is that all? Is that only thing? Mata, Keke, why did you doubt me? You could have just told me why you had to harass father, and I would have left everything and have gone to exile. And he said, now Dashrath listening to that, he could not take it. He said, started pleading to Ram, Ram, please don't do that. I cannot live without you. Please don't do that. Please don't go. I cannot live. You are my, you are now the king today, from today. So why don't you put me in jail? And why don't you take the throne? And then Ram said, Father, is this what you think about me? Hmm? I we have to follow dharma, and I am your son. If you have given a boon, if you have promised a boon, I have to keep those promises that you have made to Keke. So what happened? There was a great reversal in Ram's life. The day he was supposed to get coronated as a king, he was actually asked to go to exile. So what, how did Ram took it? Now, what did Ram do? Ram, listening to that very calmly, very nicely, very smiling, he entered Kaushalya's, he first went to his mother and very peacefully explained to her the situation. Now, Kausalya, listening to that, she almost became unconscious. And when she got into senses, then Ram explained. And Kausalya got angry with to Dashrath, but Ram started showing the positive positive side of the whole thing. He said, Mata Kaushalya, she wanted to accompany Ram to forest. He said, Mata, how is this possible? Actually, Dashrath has, King Dashrath is not doing it willingly. He has given a promise, he has given a boon, and at this point of time, as a boon, Mata Keki has asked those two, Vardhan from him. And to keep dharma, we have to keep his promise. And imagine, Raja Dashrath already is in so much pain, and as a wife, it is your duty to go and support your husband, take care of him at this point of time, not to leave him and accompany me to forest. And again, as in when whoever heard about it, they started actually cursing Dashrath and Kekeyi. But Ram, he actually explained everyone the positive side of what's happening. And he said, it's so good that, I can see my younger brother getting coronated, and I get, and it gives me an opportunity to go to forest and be with the saints and sages and learn the various wisdom from them. So the lesson that we get from this story, this part of Ram's life is, there is always, I think all of us would have seen reversals in life. What we want, we don't get. What we get, we don't want. So, and something which we are looking for, and suddenly, we find ourselves in a different situation. So reversals in life is common, it happens. And at that point of time, we should not pity ourselves. We should not say, oh, why me? Why is this happening to me? But we should look at the brighter side of the whole, the brighter side of of the of the situation we are in, because we don't know. We don't know the bigger plan. Always remember, the Lord has a master plan. He has a plan for all of us, and whatever plan he has is better than what we can think of. So whatever situation we are going through in our life at this point of time, we may not be able to understand that why it's happening with me, but have complete faith in the Lord. Have complete faith in the Lord, because Lord has a plan, and that plan is much better than our plan. So don't put, just like Ram, facing reversals, he was what do you call it, neither happy nor sad. He was in a some position. Similarly, we all should take reversals in our life with a positive, we should look at the positive side of the reversals that we see in our life. That's what we learn from this story of Lord Ram. And then what happened? Now, when all these things were happening at this point of time, when Ram was declared as a, was getting declared as the Yuvraj, the crown prince, at that point of time, Bharat and Shatrughan, they were not in Ayodhya. They had been actually sent to the to Kaushalya's, to their maternal grandfather. They were there. And then now Ram, Sita, and Lakshman, they actually left for exile. And Dashrath could not bear this pain. And when Dashrath could not bear this pain, what happened? He finally he finally left his body. Now, what happened at that point of time? There were messengers sent to call Bharat and Shatrughan back to Ayodhya. And when they were called to send back to Ayodhya at that point of time, now, and it was told that, they need to come urgently. And when Bharat was reaching Ayodhya, he was extremely surprised to see the status of the city. He said something. Ayodhya was like Amravati. Amravati is the what do you call it? Is the capital of Indra's Swarglok. So Ayodhya was like Amravati. And now what Bharat is seeing, he is seeing that the entire each house, it's like, they have not even swept the house, their leaves are dried, everything, there's complete mourning everywhere, there's no gardens, there's not no fresh flower in the temple, everything looks sad, everything, there's no flowers that is blossoming. And Bharat coming, is wondering what's wrong, looks like there's something, some looks like, there's something extremely uh, bad has happened. And when he reached palace, he went to King Dashrath's room, and he didn't find his father there. Then he went to meet his mother Kaikeyi, and when he went to meet Mother Kaikeyi, then Mother Kaikeyi told him about the entire incident, about how Dashrath has left his body, and how, because of her boon, she has asked for Ram to send to exile and him to be coronated. And Bharat was extremely angry. He was totally broken. He said, "It is because of you everything has happened." And he was so dejected. He was so dejected. He never wanted to, accept Kaki as his mother. He said, you have just um, uh, you have really, made me, what you have done, this is such a big mistake you have done in your life. And then what happened, then he went to meet Kaushalya, and finally everyone in Ayodhya was like, not even looking at Bharat. They were, and Bharat was, then when, he just couldn't bear it. Then he went, he did the last rites of Dashrath, and after that he, along with the sage Vashisht, asked him to now seat the throne of Ayodhya. But he refused. He said, "No, this is not my place. This is for King Raja Ram, and he is the right king of Ayodhya." And at that point of time, what he did was, he, along with Bharat, along with Vashisht, and the queens, and all the citizens of Ayodhya, he decided to go to forest and bring back Raja Ram. Now, next is lesson is from Bharat Milap. So what happens? Bharat, actually, when now finally when he reached, finally when he reached the where Ram was. Now Lakshman, he could see, he went to the he climbed up to a tree to see that who is coming. And when he saw Bharat, he thought, now Bharat has become the king, and he doesn't want to let us stay here also. So he came and started saying ill about Bharat. And Ram said, no, he cannot be like that. And Ram finally welcomed Bharat. And once he welcomed Bharat, Ram was like, Bharat became unconscious seeing Ram in that status. He had his seeing Ram like that, in his sapphire clothes and matted hair. It had actually broken broken Bharat, and he could not tolerate. He started pleading Ram to come back to Ayodhya and take his throne that belongs to him. But then Ram was adamant. He said, "No, it is a promise. As a son, it is my duty to live to whatever promises I have given. I have to ensure that I fulfill the promise of my father, and I am going to stay in the forest." And Bharat said, "Oh brother, why don't you go back? I will stay on your behalf. You don't have to stay. It is my mother. Because of this, all these things have happened. So please go back to Ayodhya and be the king there. But I, instead of you, will actually be in exile and do it." But then Ram did not agree. He said, "No, I need to actually fulfill my promise that I have made to Dashrath." And then Bharat got extremely, he said, "Okay, if you're not going, then I'm going to sit and fast until death. I'm going to be here. I'm not going to go back." And then Raja Ram told him, Ram said, "Bharat, it is very, very easy to die and give up. But then it is very, very difficult to live and and fulfill the promises that we have made. So it is from my side, if you genuinely love me, then please go back to Ayodhya and take care of the citizens." And in that case, what Bharat did, he took out the wooden sandals and gave it to Ram and asked him to wear that. And he took those sandal footwear, wooden footwear, and said, he started now. Then he agreed with Ram and said, I will not even wait after 14 years. You have to come back. And Ram promised he'll be there as soon as the 14 years is over, back to Ayodhya. And then Bharat took those wooden sandals back to Ayodhya, and he put that in the throne. And he did not even stay in Ayodhya. He went in a place like in Nandigram, and actually led a life of saint, a sage. And he left there, and then he actually let the Paduka of Ram rule the Ayodhya. He just took care of that. So the goal of our life is actually to serve Ram, and that is our dharma. If we see in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam, what is Bhagavatam defines what is the highest dharma. Bhagavatam, as per Bhagavatam, the highest dharma is to serve, is to do the bhakti of adhokshaja. So as per Bhagavatam, स वै पुंसां परो धर्मो यतो भक्ति अधोक्षज अहेतुक्य pratihata yatma supasititi. So Bhagavatam says that the highest dharma of all humanity is that by which men can attain loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. So the highest dharma is basically to offer devotional service to Adhokshaja. Adhokshaja is Krishna. So that is what is our the highest dharma. And then this bhakti that we do, it should be hetuki apratihita. It means it should be unmotivated. This bhakti that we should do, we should not do bhakti with an expectation of getting something back in return. This bhakti that we do should be unmotivated, with no expectation, with no, it should be uninterrupted. That is what is actually the highest dharma of the humanity, of all of us. Yeah. And Bharat was an example. Another example, when we think about the highest bhakti and dharma, that someone who could also do that, an example in Ramayana is of Shabri, yeah, is of Mata Shabri. So let us listen to the story of Mata Shabri. So Mata Shabri was actually a young girl whose father was a hunter. His father was a hunter, and she was staying. She was a tribal woman staying in a deep inside the forest. So one day, what happened? She saw that her father was actually, collecting hundreds of animals and was tying near her huts. So she was wondering that why is my father collecting all those animals and tying it near their place? So she asked his father, Father, what are you doing? Why are you actually putting all these animals here and binding them? He said that, I'm preparing for your marriage, because during your marriage, I will have to sacrifice all these animals. Now, Shabri was very, very kind, thinking that for her marriage, all these animals will actually be killed. So she decided that no, she don't want to get married. She will remain single always throughout his life. So what happened? Late in the deep night, what she did, she actually opened all the animals that were collected by her father, and then she walked away more deep in the forest. She kept on walking for days, and finally she reached a place where a lot of sages were doing tapasya, and she thought, this is the right place for me, and I will like to spend my life serving the sages. So that's what she wanted to do. She said, this is how I can actually live my life, and this is the right way to live my life. So she decided. Now then she was very worried that she's a woman and she's a tribal woman. I know that the sages, they may not accept my service to them, so I will do it in such a way that they don't come to know about the service that I'm actually performing for them. So what she did was, in the daytime she used to go and cut woods, and she knew that they'll be needing the woods for yajna, they'll be needing the wood for cooking. And also she saw the path that they take from their hut to the pond. It was full of stones and thorns. She decided to clean that path every day so that the sages can walk to the pond and take bath. So she started doing that daily. She started in the night, deep, late in the night. She used to go inside and keep all the woods there, and then she used to sweep the path every day. Now the sages, looking at this service, was started wondering, who is this person who is not visible and always, and does this, when does this person this does this service? So there was one rishi called Matanga Rishi. So Matanga Rishi said to his disciple, why don't you stay late and watch who is the one who does all this service to us? So the disciples saw that it was Shabri who actually comes late in the night and keeps all the wood there, and then she sweeps the floor so that now the disciples, when they met Shabri, they actually stopped her and asked her, who are you and why are you doing it? Shabri started crying. She got scared that now she has been found out. They have come to know that it is she who is doing the service. So she just wanted to, she thought that the service she's doing now for the sages will get stopped. And she started crying. And then Matang Rishi was brought. He talked to Shabri. He could see the pure heart of the Shabri. He could see that she is performing such a nice service to the Lord. He said, okay, fine, Shabri, you can stay in the ashram and help us out. So he made Shabri his disciple and allowed Shabri to stay in the ashram and continue the service that she had been doing. And Shabri slowly grew old doing the service. Now, what happened was, what happened was Matang Muni called Shabri one day and said, Shabri, it's time for me to leave the body. And so Shabri started crying, I have no one but you. And he said, no problem. You continue to stay here. You are such a great devotee. You are such a pure-hearted devotee. God, Lord Ram, will himself come to meet you. Why are you worried? You just stay here and continue to service. Now, Matan Muni left his body. He went to Vaikuntha. But listening to that, listening to Matan Muni's promise that Lord Ram himself will come, she was very, very happy, very, very excited. And every day she started waiting for Lord Ram. Every day her work was to keep to pluck the flowers around, to pluck the berries around, to clean the entire area, to change the water in the pot, and waited for Ram. She kept on waiting for Ram. She used to go and choose the best of the berries, and just to ensure that, since Ram is coming, she cannot let a sour berry to be given to Ram. So what she used to do, she used to eat each berry half. If it was sweet, she used to keep it. If it was sour, she used to throw it. That's how she used to do it. And then she kept on waiting, and she grew old and old. And one day, finally, Ram came. And then she was such a great devotee. Ram, that area was surrounded by sages, but Ram kept on asking people, where does Shabri lives? And she came and met Shabri. So her devotion. It is a it's her faith, her devotion, her love for Ram, that the devotional service that she used to do to Ram was so great that Ram himself came to visit Shabri, right? So, yeah, so Ram himself came to visit Shabri. So imagine what level of devotional service she had, what level of purity she had, how great devotee she was. And then when she offered the berries, the eaten berries to Ram, Lakshman got annoyed. He could see that the berries were eaten, but then Ram smiled and took the berry and ate and said to Lakshman, "Oh Lakshman, I have never eaten such a sweet berry." So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham prahitam tadaham bhaktya upahitam ashnami prayatatmana. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I'll accept it. And that's a great example of Shabri offering a eaten berry, and that Ram accepting. That is the highest devotional faith that you can see. So so the lesson that we see from this, that for Lord Ram, for everyone is equal. He doesn't differentiate. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, whether you are a male, what a female. What he sees is the love. So that this is what this is what is the devotional service. The God, he only sees the love by which we do the seva of Ram. So it is how much devotion, how much faith, and how much love we have, and with what we serve him is finally that matters, is what we can learn from story of Shabri. Yeah. Similarly, we have stories of Hanuman. There could be who could be a better bhakt than Hanuman, and we have so many lessons to learn from Hanumanji. That his faith, his determination, his unparalleled devotion. It cannot be that is what God's asked from us, and that is what we should do. That is the real aim and real purpose of life. Yeah. So with this, I would like to end this lecture. Some stories from some lessons that we from Ramayana that I've been talking about. So with this, I would end today's class, and I wish all of you, all of us, a very very happy Ramnavmi. Live your life. The only thing I would say, that we all should know the real aim of our life. The real dharma is to do service, what to adhokshaja. Our everything should be done with Bhagwan, with God as the center, and then we should live a life, and we should have make that as and that is a meaningful living of life. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.